So how many years have you been covering the Suns now for?
Well, this is my second year with the Suns. I was with Jacksonville in 2011 as a radio broadcaster, and then did college baseball last year at the University of Tennessee, my alma mater. But got the job back this past offseason. Look forward to being in Jacksonville for the next few years.
So were you here when Stanton was playing Double A?
I was not, but I was in this league. I was a broadcasting assistant for the Tennessee Smokies from 2009 to 2010, and also some last year. But in '09 and 2010, I got to see Stanton when he first got called up to the Suns, and he just wowed us with his home run ability. And also in the Southern League Championship Series when Jacksonville beat Tennessee in 4 games. And then I also got to see him the next year when he was the best player in the Southern League, hands down. And this is my 5th year overall in the Southern League, and I still have not seen a player as dominant as Mike Stanton, and I've not seen a player that had the type of buzz about him to where every time he came to the plate, everything stopped in the ballpark. You hear a lot about that in the major leagues with different players like Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa when they were going through the home run race in '98, but there's been nothing close to that I've seen in minor league baseball than what Stanton did at the plate. He was as special a talent as you'll ever see, the most advanced right-handed hitter I'd ever seen in this league.
Okay, so probably the best prospect you've seen in this league so far?
I'd have to say so. There have been some good pitching prospects as well, but if you look at the entire package from defense to hitting, and like I said, the wow factor, and that's what you want to see at this league. I think Double A is a lot of fun because the most talented players are a lot of times in this level, and if they can do well here, they can go up to the big leagues and perform just as well. I mean, we've seen that as recently as this week with Yasiel Puig, and then you go back to Marcell Ozuna, Derek Dietrich. If you can cut it in this league, you can cut it in the major leagues.
Speaking of pitching prospects, how disappointed were you when you found out Jose Fernandez is not going to start the season here?
It was a mild disappointment. I think it's good for Jose. I got to see him in spring training, and I knew he was good enough right then. And if he would have joined the Suns, I think he would really have dominated this league because this has not been a great hitting league to start the season, especially early in April. It was very soft hitting, but I wasn't disappointed necessarily because I understand it's best for him, it's best for the Marlins organization, and that's what we're trying to do. The Suns are trying to help Miami win in Miami.
So, what do you think about the Suns' chances of the playoffs this year?
Well, in the first half, they're running out of chances. We only have 8 games left. The Suns are a game out of first place now, a half game back with this crazy suspended game. Jacksonville and Mississippi both got suspended, so they're both a half game back of Mobile, who lost yesterday. So who knows what the standings will look like by the end of today once these 2 games are complete. But even if the Suns don't win in the first half, I think they're going to have a very good shot to win in the second half, regardless if some of the better prospects move on to the Marlins or to AAA New Orleans, because I think the players that are going to be here in the second half, a lot of them are here right now. A lot of them have learned some of the ups and downs of the Southern League season. And the other encouraging thing is that this core group has won before. They won in Greensboro in 2011. They nearly won a Florida State League title last year at Jupiter, and I think they have the tools and the right makeup to compete for a Southern League championship in 2013.
All right, Kyle Jensen leads the Southern League in home runs, but he's 25 in Double A still. Do you see an MLB future for him?
I think so. I think he has the kind of bat that's streaky to where he can get an opportunity somewhere. He plays solid defense, and his power is fun to watch. You mentioned his age. He has been at this level for a while, but that is a really good thing for this ball club because we have a lot of young players who are making their first transition from high A to Double A, and it's been helpful to have a guy like Jensen that'll drive in runs and just go on home run tears like we've seen over this past week. He had a home run in 4 consecutive games, 5 of the last 6 at one point. So that's been really exciting to watch, and he's a great teammate. He's somebody that has a lot of quiet leadership. People can go to him in the clubhouse and know they're going to get a straight answer. He knows a lot of the pitchers in this league, and it's just been really fun for me to watch him because I saw him when he first came up to Jacksonville in 2011 after he was named the Florida State League Player of the Year, and he had a rough transition his first week, but once he figured it out, and he's been a great power hitter in this league ever since.
So you mentioned Dietrich, Stanton, and Ozuna before. How many of these prospects do you keep, once they move on, how many of you keep in touch with?
I keep in touch with in terms of personal
Personal, yeah.
communication? Not as much. I would say I keep up with him on Twitter. Every now and then I'll talk to some of the guys we have on Twitter that have gone up to the big leagues. Talked to Derek Dietrich a couple of times. He and I got along pretty well while he was here. But it's just a lot of fun to see them get to chase down their dreams, get to perform. I mean, Derek Dietrich hits his first home run at Dodger Stadium. He has Vin Scully on the call. It's something, a week before he was in Jacksonville. It's special to see things like that. And I've been fortunate in my career, which has not been that long. It's only my 6th year in the game. But I've gotten to see a lot of guys go up to the big leagues. First with the Chicago Cubs, where I worked for in the AA level with Tennessee. And then here with the Marlins, I've seen a lot of guys go up to the big leagues as well. And that's very special. That's what this game is all about.
Did you ever get to watch Starlin Castro play?
Yes. Oh, yeah. Knew Starlin really well. Just similar to Mike, he was called up near the end of the 2009 season and performed well for Tennessee in the playoffs. Had a game-winning hit against Jacksonville in Game 3 of the championship series, Tennessee's only win. And then he came right back in 2010 to start the year with Tennessee and performed very, very well and got a call up to the big leagues on, I want to say, May 7th, 2010. And drove in 6 runs in his debut, setting a rookie record. So got to know Starlin. He was a very special talent, and you talk about advanced players at this level, his defense at this level. I know Cub fans may ride him for a lot of errors he has in the big leagues, but trust me, when he was here, he was hands down the best defensive shortstop this league had seen in years.
Give me a Suns prospect that you think is under the radar.
Under the radar? I think Audie Siriaco. I think he was with the Tigers organization for a long time, and at one point was considered one of their better prospects, was on the 40-man roster, but kind of battled some injuries, and it was tough for him in AAA. But the Marlins signed him in the offseason, and defensively at short, he has made some outstanding big league type throws. He has shown really great range. Danny Black was on the DL for most of May, and Siriaco filled in for him at shortstop, did a fantastic job, and I think he's good defensively at third base, good at second base, and he's got occasional power. He has 4 homers, around 16 runs batted in, and when he connects, he really connects. The ball goes a long way, and he's got the right makeup, too, that you want to see in a major league player. His older brother Pedro is with the Red Sox, and he just gets it, and it's special to see a guy like that, and I think the Marlins really got a steal when they signed him in the offseason. Not sure if he'll make an impact in Miami this year, but he is going to be someone very valuable to have in this system for years to come.
Marlins shortstops have some interesting names, Audie and then Aideny.
No, that's right, Danny Echeverria, yeah. But it's fun to see the Marlins with a lot of the young talent. I know some fans maybe weren't happy with some of the trades in the offseason, but from our perspective here in AA, we see the future. And a lot of times, the teams that are having success at this level, you will see that translate in the major league level. Look at the Tampa Bay Rays. They won Southern League Championship in 2006, 2007, 2008. The Rays made the playoffs, made the World Series, and they've been a contender ever since. So I think the Marlins are getting ready to do something very similar to that. They're building up the farm system the right way. Some of these trades have been very beneficial. I think the Blue Jays swap is going to prove to be a very good long-term deal for Miami. It may help Toronto in the short run, but I think long-term, with just seeing Marisnik play as well as he has, having a 2 Grand Slam game a couple weeks ago. Echeverria is already a starter at the major league level. Nicolino, a lot of good players are about to make that transition, and I think it's really exciting to see.
Final question, which player in high A right now are you most looking forward to see this year or next year?
Well, really Jose Urena. We keep looking at the stats from him, and it's just unbelievable. Some of the numbers he's putting up in the Florida State League, and the Suns really at times have had some suspect starting pitching. That's been one of the things that's hurt this ball club early in the season. For the most part, it's been good, but they're just every now and then get that one bad outing. So it's exciting to see what he's doing, and we all keep up with Jupiter and know that a lot of those guys are close. And we also know that once the first half is done, we may get to see some of the first real big wave of promotions, because most of the guys we've had from Jupiter have had Suns time before, except for like Ryan Fisher, Noah Perio, and it's been good to have those guys come up. They've started to make a difference, good lefty bats, but we're really excited to see what the second half holds. And even if a lot of players do get called up to Miami or New Orleans, I think this is still going to be a very competitive team, and the Suns really benefit from having a veteran coaching staff. Andy Barquette, this is his third year with the Jacksonville Suns, with the Marlins. He knows a lot of these guys. He pushes the right buttons. He's as good of a game manager as you're going to find in this league. John Duffy is, for my money, the best pitching coach in the Southern League. You look at some of the great pitchers he's worked with over the years. Tom Kohler, I mean, he turned him into a most outstanding pitcher in 2010. Now Kohler's in the major leagues with Miami. Eli Villanueva, who has pitched very well at AAA the last few years. Brad Hand, who I think still has a very good future as a major league starter, whether it's in Miami or wherever. And I think Duffy knows what he's doing. Kevin Randall's a great hitting coach, was a member of the 2009 Southern League champion Suns team, and he was teammates with Logan Morrison. We just got to see he and Lomo reunited. So it's been a lot of fun, and I think this team is really going to compete. And who knows, we still got a long way to go in this first half. A lot of baseball still to be played in a week. It's going to be over in 1 week, but we still have 8 games we got to figure out. But this has been a pleasure to work with, and I think the Marlins should be very excited about their future.
Thank you, Roger.
All right, thank you, man.